Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Arknights reaction. Today we have And Yet It Wanes. This one has been sitting on and off comment sections for months and months and months now, and I finally decided to get around to it purely because it was put into the priority queue on Patreon by Pobat. Again, another one from Pobat, the same one who has forced me into the Project Moon rabbit hole on YouTube by asking for Millie songs. But we'll get to more of those in time. Today we have And Yet It Wanes. So let's get to it, shall we? Let's go. I don't know, I always make that face when the song starts. I'm like... It's fun having the whistling. Woo. Oh yeah. All right. The vibes. Woo. All right. Let's go. Woo. That's a really tight snare drum. Oh, I love this. Woo. It's so big. Don't take that out of context. Go with that flute solo. This is so bright. Back to the whistles. All right. God, I love the aesthetic of this song. Ooh, build up on the snare. I love that drum solo there. Well, it wasn't really a solo, but I love the pattern on the snare they did for the fill. So this one's definitely going to end up on like my upbeat funk playlist, the same playlist that King of Party from Path to Nowhere ended up on recently. I loved that song. That just fits so well. It was like jazz fusion. It was really cool. That flute solo, that sick flute solo too. Like I've talked with Adam recently, and you guys will be seeing that at some point, so wink wink, stick around, wink wink. But we were talking about the musicians that he gets for solos sometimes, and like the specific people he calls on for certain things. And we did talk about the people he brings on for woodwinds and percussion being basically one or two specific people. And I've got no doubt that with a solo like that, he called in that favor and he's like, hey, I need you on this. And they just went to town. So that was a brilliant solo. So a cool thing that this flautist did is, I'm not entirely sure what technique this is, but when they rapidly flick their tongue, like So they get this like rapid chuffing that goes into the flute and it makes it sound just really textured and cool. I have no clue what it's called. I'm not a flautist, but I've heard that in a lot of solos, and I always just I'm always tickled by it. It's just a cool technique. It's such a way to brighten up a solo for somebody who's blowing into a tube effectively, and you gotta have that sort of creativity to like really lock into something like a solo and show off your entire repertoire of abilities. Drumming is of course technique based as well, and there are a lot of things that you can do that are technique heavy that make a solo sound good, and not following them can make it sound awful or really bland. But the same thing does apply to every other instrument, but I feel like it's more involved because of what they have to do in using their instrument in order to make that sound interesting. But I'll digress on that because I don't play the instrument and I'm not sure what those techniques are, and I don't want to be putting out misinformation. I just think it sounds cool and I've noticed it a lot. The other solo that was in here was an electric organ. I think that was really fun having that aesthetic in there. The electric organ is such a specific instrument to use, and it definitely fits this flavor. There was a bunch of like auxiliary percussion in here as well. There was I heard cowbells. I think I might have heard some wood blocks. It could be wrong. It might just be different sizes of cowbell. I know I heard some bongos in there of various sizes. And that's just like all this layering. This feels like just a big group of people playing, and that if that isn't the most jazz thing, it just feels so right. This song has such a good energy. It really lifted my spirits as a whole. As is always the case with Adam Gubman writing songs of this genre, he always nails that energy, and I feel like he just sits in his studio enjoying every second of it because it definitely shines that way. But it feels like every single time he's writing a song that's like this jazz fusion energy, yeah, he just enjoys every second of it, and I never feel like he's doing it for the song just to be done with it. I always get a good energy out of it, and I feel like there's specifically some parts to this process in this genre that just really hit close to home for him, probably because there's so much love in it every single time. But I think that's about all I'll say for this one. So if you like this video and you like my input on it and you want to see more of me and videos of me doing stuff like this from this game and other games, you know how to follow me and support me and all that mess, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!